Our theme this month is widening the circle. I love this theme. It speaks to the gatherer within me and my desires to be inclusive and loving towards a wider world. But widening the circle can be a challenge and begs a question: should we widen it? We all don't like everyone. They don't like us. What if we have nothing in common? Widening the circle might also have to address our bias of old thoughts and beliefs about other people. Some of us don't want to widen the circles. Some of us find that we're challenged by the ideas of how to widen our circles, and we have been given messages by families or our faiths or songs or movies that including people is the right thing to do and that we are good people if we do that. In early education, children are taught to be inclusive and not leave anyone out. Songs tell us that friendships are among the most vital aspects of our human connections. Why can't we be friends? A little help from my friends. You've got a friend. You're my best friend. Thank you for being a friend. That's what friends are for. I got friends in low places. We find, however, that not all relationships last. As the years pass, friendships shift, people change, and friends fall away. Not all our friends or circles are going to gather, nor should they. As our interests grow or change, perhaps our circles change too. It can be difficult to define the circles and baffling if we should or how we widen our circles. Recently, I read a book called The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker. She blew my mind when she suggested that everyone cannot be included in all things, and it would be inappropriate to try and force it. My mouth dropped. What? How can that be? Isn't it that the problem that people feel left out and aren't included? But Ms. Parker suggests that being purposeful in how and why we gather can be a benefit to all involved, even those who are not included. Maybe allowing ourselves to define the circles, giving ourselves permission to not include everyone is okay. Some of you are already saying in your screens right now, yes, Amy, it's okay. Be patient with those of us who are told a different message. Our UU faith is one of covenant. The idea of covenant is the concept that we decide how we're going to act together. Recently, I realized that being in a covenant with this congregation means that I'm not in everyone's circle within our community. I'm still part of the community, flaws and all. And I'm willing to love people in this community, flaws and all. And importantly, in a covenantal relationship, I'm willing to try and stick with it in the hard parts, and in all relationships, there are hard parts. I'm willing to try and show up for these parts. Come, let us worship.
Good morning. This morning we light the chalice, shining a light on participation, on the anticipation of our participation in person here in the sanctuary, and this morning for your participation in the sermon. So wherever you're sitting watching, if you can grab a piece of paper and a pencil so that you can do some things with me during the sermon, that would be great. And so in this moment, we light our chalice, shining the light on all of us.
Draw the circle.
Good morning. Wow. Thanks, choir. That was awesome. I'm vibrating. Good morning. I am Amy Brunell, your worship associate for this morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Santa Monica. We are delighted to have you come connect with us in our online sanctuary. Wherever you are today in communities across the LA Basin and further across the widen world and beyond, we welcome you. If you're new to our community, please know that while our building is still closed for larger church services and events, we are still here. And there are many ways to learn more and to get involved. We offer programs to serve the needs of our congregation and to be of service in the larger world, including broad religious education and personal development for all ages. We also join with other social justice advocates and community activism that contributes to the justice and harmony of our world. Unitarian Universalism is not defined by creed or dogma, but is guided by these principles that affirm the worth and dignity of every person and encourage an individual search for truth and meaning. We honor the wonder of existence and believe that we are all connected to each other and to the interdependent web of life. Our beliefs are drawn from scripture and science, nature and philosophy, personal experience, and ancient tradition. We are an open, affirming, and welcoming congregation, diverse in backgrounds, identities, spiritualities, and philosophies of life. We are also a dedicated peace site. We are united in our desire to create an inclusive, beloved community to live the principles of our faith and to serve the wider world. An important step on that journey is to acknowledge that our church and the homes of most of our members are on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded lands of the Tongva people who continue to live here and to have cared for these lands for thousands of years. We recognize and mourn the often deadly harm inflicted on the indigenous people in this country. We lift up their grace, resilience, and their relationship to these sacred lands. Announcements. Hey, get ready, church is going to open up within the next few weeks. Our board and Reverend Jeremiah are working out details. Please stay tuned for more to come as we begin to imagine together being here in the sanctuary. Online services will continue to be offered as well. I am offering a series of discussions on the 7 potential 8 principles of Unitarian Universalism starting March 6th. For about 4 weeks. This workshop will be offered complimentary through Camp de Benneville Pines and their website. This allows us to broaden this to the discussion of our principles to all UUs across Southern California and Arizona. I hope you will consider joining me online. Women's Weekend is also open for registration at Camp de Benneville Pines the last weekend in April. And our own Judith Martin Straw is our camp dean this year, and it's going to be great. Detailed announcements are published in a weekly email on Thursdays. Also available is our online newsletter at news.uusm.org. Our website at uusm.org is also a rich source of information about our church and upcoming programs. Find our website, check out all the wonderful opportunities to explore interests, build community, and develop your spirituality. Would you join me in the covenant as we say it together? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus do we covenant together. Hi, friends. You know what? I know. I'm fascinated by this idea. You know, sometimes you have one group. Am I starting at the beginning? Hi, friends. It's a little loud. Okay. Hi, good morning. Sometimes I don't like someone, and even more surprising, they don't like me. I know. Can you believe it, Yui? I know. I'm really interested in this. You know, sometimes you have one group of friends, you know, that group you met at school, or maybe you have another set like those you met in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or church or camp. And they all have different meanings to you. Some of the friends like to do things with you, like play games or make art. Some of the friends like to think and talk about some things. It would almost seem strange if all of them met in one place, because not all groups can or should go together. They don't fit. But in those groups, have you ever had a person who wanted to be in your group? And maybe your group didn't want them to join you. Or maybe you've been that person who tried to get into a group, and no matter what you did, they kept you out. Groups are very complicated, kind of like humans. We like what we like, and we don't like what we don't like. I hope Yui likes me. But how does it work when we're UUs? I mean, aren't we supposed to bring everyone together and include everyone? See, it's complicated. Being Unitarian Universalists, are we saying that everyone has to fit into the group, or let's say a circle? No, because we can't. There are some people we just connect with and we just seem to like. But our principles do encourage us to accept one another and that we all have value and worth. But what about when you're part of a circle and you find you don't really like them? Because it's one thing to have a group of friends and hang out, and it's another to have those friends be not cool to others outside the group. Sometimes I wanted to join a circle and I just wasn't welcome. I was too loud or too much, or I laughed too hard. Who knows? But you know what I learned? I learned that some people like me anyway, and some don't. And it really had to do with me being more myself, not less, until I found people who liked me and wanted me in their circle. My circles have changed a lot. I always kind of understood this since I was a kid myself. It just made sense that people change. What they liked to play changed. They moved, and my circles would change. Fortunately, I never thought my circles wouldn't change. I just kept inviting people in and welcoming different circles. Some people stayed in my life for a while. Some people stayed longer. The thing is, there's always new circles of people. There are always new people to find things to do with. And sometimes you might find your circles are small and sometimes big, and that's fine. You won't like everyone, and everyone won't always like you, but someone will. Your people are out there. Maybe you can think of some of those people in your circle now. Have a great week, friends. Bye-bye.
We have many joys and sorrows this morning. There is always plenty for which we can be grateful. And there are those particular things for which that we lift up because they bring us tremendous joy or because they bring us particular sorrow. One of the joys and sorrows that I have this morning is for all of the people who work behind the scenes to get this service to you. There are people on the tech team, there are musicians. They have been running around all morning to make sure that we are able to deliver a sermon to you. So I want you to know we see you and we appreciate you. You are our joy, and keep us from the sorrow of having no church. There are many births and deaths in our community. I'd like to lift up a couple of them. We have had deaths during this pandemic, and we've had a few services of memory and memorial in the garden, and there have been some who have been waiting to have a service within the sanctuary and a reception in Forbes Hall. One such service that didn't happen again is for Tulene Mangier, Metin Mangier's wife, and we want to recognize her. We hold Metin in the light, we hold their family in the light, and we recognize the deep sorrow of not being able to celebrate her life in a way that is meaningful to them. We lost a long-time church member, Sana Egan, this month. She had been dealing with Parkinson's disease for many years, but she succumbed to pancreatic cancer, which was only recently diagnosed. And then we got word earlier today, last night, recently, in the last 24 hours, that Ken Alexander's brother has died unexpectedly. He's up in Oregon, and so the family is making plans to attend services there. So we hold all of these in the light, whether we have called your name or not, whether we know what you are celebrating or know what is causing you sorrow and pain. Know that you are part of this community. We care about you, and we hold you in the light. And so let us take a moment to reflect on those things for which we are grateful, for those things that bring us joy, for those things that cause us sorrow as we hold them in the light. Our reading this morning is from Khalil Gibran. When I was in high school, I was given a book of Khalil Gibran's poetry. I fell in love with him then, probably with the love of a lovesick teenager, but have continued to appreciate his wisdom and his understanding of relationships. And so this morning we read what Khalil Gibran has written about love. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires. To melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody into the night. To know the pain of too much tenderness, to be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully, to wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving, to rest at noon and meditate love's ecstasy, to return home at eventide with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise on your lips. So I asked you when I lit the chalice this morning to get a piece of paper and something to write with, because I'm going to ask you to draw. Not something serious. Well, we are drawing something serious, but not serious drawing, just kind of scribbling around. So what I'd like you to do is to first draw yourself in the middle of the paper. So not a portrait unless you're gifted in that way, but a stick figure or a heart. No, that's not a heart. A heart. A symbol of some sort, a squiggle of your humanity. So now I'd like you to think about the people who are closest to you, your posse, your chosen family, and make a circle, draw a heart around yourself, because this is your heart circle. Wherever you turn in that circle, however you bend, leaning forward, leaning backwards, there is love. Now, draw a circle around that circle. This is your friendship circle. Now, I had a conversation with some folks recently, and they said, well, what really is a friend? C.S. Lewis said, a friend can sing the song that is in your heart when you have forgotten the words. So sit for a moment and take this in. Who you are as an embodiment of love, your heart circle, your friendship circle. Can you name all of the people that are in those heart circles? When is the last time that you considered who surrounds you in your circle of love? Now, there may be more circles around you, circles of common interests, circles of membership, family circles, people who are near you only because they're related to you. Take a moment and reflect and add to your diagram. And we started out with concentric circles, but perhaps now your drawing looks like a Venn diagram with circles that are intersecting and overlapping, not so neatly, kind of like your life maybe. So now I ask you to examine the circles more closely. How many did you draw? How large are they? Are some larger than others? Is there a relationship to their size? A relationship to the circles you're a part of and how close they are to you? The people who are in the circles, are there some folks who are in more than one circle? Who no longer belongs in the circle? Who is now in a circle that's closer to your heart? Who maybe wasn't 2 years ago? Who is now out of your diagram completely? Who needs to be moved? And in the spirit of widening your circle, who is not on the page, but would be happy to be in one of your heart circles if you knew who they were and if you gave them a chance? As children, we made friends very easily. As Amy sang to us all of the songs, many of the songs about friendship, kids meet someone they like and they simply say, will you be my friend? As adults, making friends is harder. We sing make new friends but keep the old, but because we are more complicated as adults than we were when we were children, we cling to the familiar no matter how uncomfortable it is, instead of reaching out for something new. So as we mature, we grow weary of telling our stories over and over again. So we stick to those people who know our stories and love us anyway. We let the people around us become the symbols for our hopes and dreams and our fears. We forget to let go of those things and those friends that are no longer good for us. I know a young woman who, despite the warnings of her older friends, married the wrong person. How many have that story? She thought she was marrying a friend, but instead what she had done was marry someone who was a symbol of her college life and her college friendships, and now she's miserable. She knows now but she thinks that if she leaves him, she'll be leaving all of her hopes and dreams. And we've tried to explain to her that her hopes and dreams are separate from this person who symbolizes them. He symbolizes her hopes and dreams, but he doesn't embody them. So as you look in your circles, have you kept someone close to you or kept someone away from you because of what they symbolize, because of what you associate them with, or because of what you think people may think about you? As we journey through life, we surround ourselves and those we care about with circles of connections. Some of those circles serve us, some of those circles do not. Most of the circles change over time. We have friends for a reason, friends for a season, friends of the heart, friends of circumstance. Friends leave at the end of your tolerance for something or for your acceptance of something else. I used to think there were basically two kinds of friends, friends of circumstance and friends of the heart. Friends of circumstance are the ones that come and go. Friends of the heart are the ones that are there forever. But what I've learned is that everyone is a friend of circumstance. As we grow and change, our circumstances change. And some of our friends change in complementary ways or at a comparable pace, so we remain friends. When circumstances change so that there is not enough in the current circumstance to maintain the bond of friendship at the same level, then the friendship changes. Sometimes this hurts, especially if we don't understand what's happening. It doesn't mean that you aren't loved. It doesn't mean that you aren't cared for. It doesn't mean that the friendship was not as real or as deep as you thought it was. It just means that you had this person to walk along with you on a particular portion of your journey. When you can let go with grace, you're making room for someone else to come to walk with you. All friendships are not for all times. There are times when we meet people because of the common circumstances of our lives, school or young children or work or church, and then we become friends because we share these circumstances. These friends are there for us as we share our joys and sorrows of that particular time of life. You may share secrets and meals and tears and laughter. You think you will be friends for the rest of your lives, but something changes in your circumstances, your location, your occupation, distractions. These may be enough to end the friendship. It doesn't mean that the friendship wasn't real. It means some people are friends of one circumstance and others are friends of many circumstances. Sometimes the circumstance of friendship is a heart connection that lasts a lifetime. You may only see that person every few years, but no matter how long the separation, it always seems like yesterday. Some of your heart circles may shrink as friends and family die. So to keep from being all alone in your circle, you might want to reconsider the criteria you use for bringing people close to you. So are your criteria serving you for the season of your life? For example, my mother used to say, stay in your age group. You should just have friends in your own age group. Well, at my age now, that's not always possible, and it certainly doesn't serve me. Or you may want to guard your boundaries in some way. So your circumstances, your criteria for friendships and your friendship circles may be changing. So they may changing to, can they drive at night? Will they take me to the emergency room? Will they be able to pick me up off the floor if I fall? Can you call them at 4 a.m.? Will they keep your secrets? Will they change your diapers or help somebody find someone who will? See, that was a circumstance of old age. If you want to widen your circles, think about what you want to learn, how you want to grow, who's doing something that you admire, and invite them for a cup of coffee. Invite them to share a meal with you. You don't have to invite everybody you know every time. So given who you are and how you are in the world, do you have enough circles? Are your circles expansive enough? Do you do the same things with the same group of people all the time? Have you considered having a gathering where you don't invite the usual group or everyone that you know? See, meetup apps are ways to add to your circles. There are Facebook friends and Facebook groups and Instagram and Tinder and iFunny, and I know I'm probably showing that I'm a boomer by naming these particular ones, but these are the ones that I know. There are friendship apps and love apps and neighborhood gossip apps, and then the dating apps, Elite Singles and Silver Singles and Christian Mingle and J-Date and eHarmony and on and on and on and on and on. You have to see yourself as love. Love in the center of your heart circle. You are love surrounded by love. Love lures us. The fear of lovelessness lures us sometimes to bad places and bad judgment. The desire for love lures us sometimes toward the wrong things. So beware of looking for love in all the wrong circles. You will not be in everyone's circle, nor will everyone be in yours. The widest of the concentric circles may indeed include everyone who's on the planet, but the circles that are closest to your heart will not. So savor the circles you have. Life, however, will call you to widen your circles. Life may shrink your circles. Life may rearrange your circles. If you find yourself sitting in the dark, waiting for love to find you, think of your love as a lamp and turn your light on. It's your circle. Take good care of it.
Thank you, Reverend Kikanza. That was really something. We come together for more than ourselves, and this month we're going to share 50% of our offering with the Equal Justice Initiative. Founded in 1989 by Brian Stevenson, a widely acclaimed public interest lawyer and best-selling author of Just Mercy, the Equal Justice Initiative is a private, nonprofit providing legal representation to people who've been illegally convicted, unfairly sentenced, or abused in jails and prisons. The organization challenges the death penalty and excessive punishment and provides re-entry assistance to formerly incarcerated people. Working with communities that have been marginalized by poverty and discouraged by unequal treatment, the Equal Justice Initiative is committed to changing the narrative about race in America. Equal Justice Initiative provides research and recommendations to assist advocates and policymakers in this critically important work of criminal justice reform. In 2018, the Equal Justice Initiative opened the Legacy Museum from Enslavement to Mass Incarceration and the National Memorial for Peace and Justice in Montgomery, Alabama, as part of the national effort to create new spaces, markers, and memorials that address the legacy of slavery, lynching, and racial segregation, which shapes many issues today. Today, you also have an opportunity to give to the Spirit Level Foundation. Last year, we received a grant from the Spirit Level Foundation to cover the costs of our sanctuary's technological infrastructure and hiring someone to help with the live streaming. Well, this is my second time doing this, and I'm just going to tell you that money is needed and it is being used, and it's a good thing. The foundation will match our fundraising dollar up to $10,000, dollar for dollar, to cover these new expenses. And we hope that you will continue to contribute to this critical fund and help us find ways to reach and serve the congregation and its communities. So far, we've raised over $8,300 for the $10,000 matching grant. So we're real close. So if you can all come together and let's just get that done, that would be great. After our inability to stream the service a couple weeks ago, we know that this is really important. There are many ways to give. One is through our website, UUSM.org, by clicking the Make a Donation button or scanning the QR code that is on your screen with your phone. Texting 844-982-0209 on your smartphone with the amount followed by the code GCC for generous let me say that again, generous congregation contribution, PLG to make a membership pledge, or SLF to contribute to the Spirit Level Fund Grant, which is matching our funds. You can still also make out a check to the church. I'm sorry, there's a siren going by. You can make a check out to the church and these fundraising goals. Your generous contributions support the work and the communities that we all hold dear. Thank you.
Seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies slow up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle. From the childhood and time, round the seasons, skated over tan clear frozen streams. painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of town. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round and round in the circle game. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Oh, circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children, our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle for justice, working side by side, loving one another. Draw the circle wide.
Draw the circle wide. Circle for peace. Draw the circle wide. Circle for peace. Circle for justice. Circle for love. Circle for community. Prepare to widen the circle of worshipers in person. Watch our website, watch your newsletter to see when we are able to come back and welcome everyone back in person in the sanctuary. It was a particular treat today to have all of the worship leaders with the musicians in the sanctuary, socially distanced this morning. And so this service is almost over. Our service to the world, to the community, to ourselves continues. So as we extinguish the light in our chalice, we hold the light in our hearts as we walk into the world, flames of love, flames of justice, lighting the way for peace.